buying hookers.
Bro, hookers are so expensive.
Instead of buying hookers.
It's nuts. Hookers are different, bro. This drink gonna pick it up right here?
Oh yeah, it's over there, no matter what. And Celsius, not the battery, unfortunately, ain't gonna last too long. It's only about 40 minutes max.
Oh, we good.
Good. So we're just going, I'm gonna hit you with like a lot of questions. It's gonna be rapid fire questions. This is just gonna be your thoughts, what you think, your perspective, your beliefs
Yep.
on just, you know what, just, let's get it cracking.
So,
First of all, bro, how you say your last name?
it's a night.
It's a night. Where is that derive from? Where are you from?
It's Serbian. So my great grandfather came over on a boat and started my family here. He went to New York first, and then we dispersed from there.
So where you at now, like where your main family is at? Like when you go home, where's home for you?
Home is Maryland for me, but I was living in Florida for 9 years, so I go back and forth. But my parents are in Maryland. My grandparents are in West Virginia, and that's pretty much it. You know, we're all kind of close. My brothers and siblings are spread out, but we're all pretty close to each other.
So where you go to school at?
I went to North Southeastern, South Florida, Davie.
In Davie? Was that JUCO?
I
You too?
did too. So I went to St. Andrews in North Carolina first.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to Marion Military for 1 year because they messed my credits up.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to Nova for the last 2 years.
So how did that get you to playing overseas? How long you been playing so far?
Overseas, like time-wise, really only like 3.5 years.
Was Australia your first job?
No, so my first job, so I was in Europe, and I was in Malta for 8 months.
Okay.
Tore my ACL, COVID hit. That was it.
Bro, that's a double whammy.
And then after COVID, I got a corporate job. You know, you got bills to pay and stuff, and I've always been
What
in
was the
business.
job?
So I had a marketing job for ZRS Management. We had about 100,000 units. So Class A, multifamily real estate. Me and 9 other people working on Las Olas, really cool office. And then I was sitting there for probably like a year and a half. You know, I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm playing against like Patty Mills in the summer in Miami, all these league guys. I'm like, I need to go back.
Uh-huh.
Started praying, you know, getting into it. One of my coaches from Europe called me and said, hey, I'm taking the job in Ecuador.
Okay.
Like my friend's in Ecuador, he's gonna take the job. I said, okay. He said, I'm gonna try to get you in. They were like hesitant because obviously I had a gap year and a half.
A good 2 years in
2 years is tough. And then they took it, you know, they signed me there, and that's what started everything. It was Ecuador, of all places. Zamora for that, 12,000 people, middle of the Amazon jungle.
Dang, from the trenches. From the
It
trenches.
was crazy.
When you got out of school, did you really realize that you could play professional, or did you just felt like, I'm gonna try it and see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, I went to Nova, we was #1 like for a while. As soon as I left, they won a couple national championships. So like, we were always at the top of D2. As soon as I graduated, I had a bunch of agents reach out, so that's when I think it started clicking. Like, I was like, okay, I can do this. I never thought it would get to this point, you know, just because of how everything shook up. But yeah, it worked out, man. I mean, I think at some point it clicks. Like, what do you really want to do? I think a lot of people look at the money. They want to take the money. Okay, this pays the bills. I'm with my family, but they're not really happy.
Right. You was doing that.
Yeah, I was doing that, and it didn't fulfill me.
Good job. You know what I'm saying?
Good job, good
Dinner.
money. Dinner on the table when you get home, you know, it's like, okay, but like, it was great while it lasted. I learned a lot of lessons, but for me, it's like traveling the world, there's nothing like it, man. Nothing.
And who?
I hope, like, you get paid to
I can't do anything. I can't do anything else.
No, you don't want
I
to.
can't. Who do you believe like was the first person that believed in you to let me get you out here?
I would say probably my coach in Ecuador, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, he's Italian, so like they play a different type of basketball there. But like, if he would have taken a chance on me in a game, I wouldn't even be here right now. Like, I don't know where.
So he saw it.
He saw it, and I did everything else. Like, you know, you got to perform at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You can't just go off someone's word. They took a risk and it worked out. But I think it's interesting to see like coming from there. there to here, it's like night and day, bro, because that city, like,
It don't have.
no, the 20-hour bus rides, like, you might have some food on the bus, you might not, you might have some water, hotels are super sketch, like, you learn a lot, bro, you learn a lot.
Well, I can't even tell you about my first gig when I went to Mexico.
Yeah.
In Tijuana,
Yeah.
they brought me on. I was there for 2 weeks, and then they cut me. Traded me. I'm on the bus going to the other city. Thank God the buses have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I happen to just look down. I'm like 8 hours out. They say the team decided to change their mind, turn back around. So I literally went to the next stop, got on the bus coming back.
That's crazy, bro.
That's the life. That's what we signed up for. That's what we signed up for. What shocked you the most of your first time playing overseas?
I mean, I was in, exclude Europe, because Europe's Europe, right? Like, when I was in Zamora, I saw some stuff like I've never seen in my life. Like,
Where is it at?
So Zamora is, there's a city in Ecuador called Loja, which is like,
I think I played there.
Loja's nice. Jorge Guzman.
Is it like a bigger kind of city?
It's a little bigger. It's not like Quito or like Guayaquil, but
I played there 1 year, but it was so long ago I can't remember. But I think it was a pretty fairly decent city.
it's not bad. Zamora's like an hour and a half from there.
Okay.
Zamora's 12,000 people. Like, you got people outside your apartment asking for pictures, like autographs, but
I've
they
been in
cheer
pictures
so
in
much.
I've been in Colombia and some of those. You gotta take
Man.
the chopper.
Oh.
I've been there.
Bus rides, like, they don't have straight roads.
You gotta go up
So
and
it's like this,
Not
and
be
you got a
there.
whole row, 1 second here, the next second you're over
I've
here.
been there. Bolivia is even worse.
Dudes get sick. I'm like, oh, this is
Stay sick.
But like, I always do, like, if I'm starting like this and I'm getting through this, like, ain't nothing gonna be worse than that.
Yeah. It's only up from here.
It's only up from there.
So okay. So what's the biggest misconception Americans have about overseas basketball?
That's a good
It's a lot, huh? It's more than one. That's too broad of a question.
It is too many. I think for me, the main thing is like, when you tell people you're a pro hooper, they automatically.
You got the bag.
Yeah, you got the bag,
You got the bag.
you got the Lambo, and like, thing is, you gotta work up to the point where like, you can even save a bunch, you know, but it can scale so fast, you know, like.
It depends.
My situation's different.
Your situation is completely different. We're gonna get into that.
But-
You're a completely different
For
situation.
sure, for sure. But yeah, I think, you know, they just think pro hooper and they think, okay, you got everything, but they don't see the lonely side, they don't see the nights where you're sitting there like, hey, should I keep doing this or should I go get ready?
Dang, I still got it?
Like, you got a family maybe, you know, like it's tough, man, it's tough.
What's one thing overseas taught you that the U.S. never could?
Culture, bro, embrace the culture. I think a lot of people think America's the best place in the world.
Yeah,
America's great, but like it's not like if you break it down like industry wise, right? Okay, we got great roads, we got great healthcare, but you gonna pay for it. These
You
other
gonna pay for
cities
it.
and these other countries, like they're starting to, you know, really figure it out to where they either include in their tax break or they include it in how this pot works or how that pot works. And I think the interesting thing about South America is they're so passionate. Like,
Yeah.
the fans here are on another
Yes,
level,
there you
so
go.
it makes the game even more fun.
Yes, they
In
are.
the States, like I'll go to an NBA game to maybe see some of my boys play or, you know, go with a couple friends, but the fans there are not the same. It's not even close in that aspect.
What's the hardest thing about being away from homes that fans don't see?
I mean, for me, I just try to like dive into work and just stay busy, and then when it gets over, because like if you don't do anything, your mind really starts to wander, man. Like, especially, you know, I'm a very physical person, so like if you don't have like if your girl's back in the States, you know, or you don't have something here where you can get some, you know, connection in terms of like with your boys like this. Like a lot of people don't have this.
Now your watch is definitely different.
Way different.
My whole body's right there.
Way different.
That's
This is nice, but in Mexico, it's different because we travel a lot, we do a lot of team events. We're all super close.
Uh-huh.
I had a car in Mexico, so like I was able to go places. I think it's about wherever you're at. You got to figure it out early so it doesn't go past the point where you're like, man, I'm only out on the hoop, because that translates to the court, and then you don't play well, and then you don't have a job, and then you don't want to go that way.
Once you fall out of not getting a job, it's over with from
It's
there.
tough, it's tough.
What's one cultural difference that took you the longest to adjust to? Like, what's one thing that is like, God dang, man.
I think the fact that like, I think South America is like so traditional, you know? I
In
think-
what sense?
So traditional in the sense that like they love their families, they're very family
Yes.
oriented, they bring the whole family to
That
the
is true.
game, you know, and for me, it's like I've always been, you know, get close with the fans, get close with everyone in the club because they're gonna want you back if you play well. Don't just focus on
If
the
I like you
basketball.
more as a person than just,
Exactly, and they like you as a person that's gonna translate every team I played at some point, hey, you wanna come back for the playoffs, hey, you wanna come back for the season, and then you can kind of pick and choose. But I think also for me, like I'm an exception, I speak Spanish, really good Spanish.
where you guys went from?
I studied in high school I went to private school, but then when I got in Mora, they don't speak English there. So I picked up on a lot of things and I just kept that and I went basically 5-6 different Spanish speaking countries.
Oh, yeah, you got that.
Yeah, so. You speak too and also like you get around. I know some guys that don't speak anything, they struggle, so.
I can get around, I can hold a conversation.
Yeah.
Yo no estaba mal, yo puedo hablar un poco en español, tú sabes. Un poco
They interview me in Spanish now, so it's.
I did a couple of, I did a lot of interviews in Chile in Spanish.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
And I did a lot over there. And I did one in Argentina on the radio.
Yeah, that's the best way, man. Just embrace it. Like, go full in. People get scared of like speaking another language or mess up.
I said, you know, I put that in my book, like
Yeah, do it.
communication. There's no better way to communicate with someone other than in their language.
And you're in their country too. And I read a stat the other day. It was like, if you speak another language, you add like 5 years to like automatically.
How is that possible?
There's studies behind it because they say like
It's gotta be
switching.
so much your brain.
Yeah, they say switching like the frontal lobe to a different cortex is like, it's doing something for your brain. I'm not a doctor, so don't judge me on this part, but it's doing something for your brain that daily activities don't do.
You know what it is? It's just the thought of it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just the thought that, oh, this adds.
You gotta switch back and forth.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it
It's
is.
interesting.
What's the biggest mental battle you had to overcome overseas?
Oof, man. My first year in Europe, I had my girlfriend in the States. We did 7 months, 8 months. Never done that before. I was going through, I had to get involved in a lawsuit, business dealing, so I had an attorney, fresh out of college, so that was a rude awakening. But for me, it was like, if this is gonna happen to me now, right, and I'm learning everything about the law, and I'm learning everything about this and that, it wasn't anything on my part, right, it was okay, I want this to happen, so I'm gonna pursue this. Those 2 things, being away from family, that was my first year out of college, so that was tough. And then the league was easy, like it was, for me, it wasn't hard, but I knew like it wouldn't translate to where I wanted it to translate.
Yeah.
And then I got hurt, so then it was like ACL, okay, you got 7, 8 months recovery. I was back in 7 months, but like, that's tough. That's a tough injury to go to.
What do you? I think I had a question I had for you, and it just slipped my mind. First of all, what lawsuit? You ain't gonna skip over that.
Yeah, so did a business dealing, long story short, went south, had to, sue a guy, pursue legal action. But it was interesting because like, some people look at that like, this is like the worst thing in the world. It was bad. Like, fresh out of college, you don't got a lot of money,
Yeah.
bare bones, right? You're like, okay, how am I gonna do this? And that's actually how I got into trading. That's the funny thing, because
We'll get into
I had all this and I was like, okay, I gotta pay this off, man. Like, this isn't cheap. How am I gonna do that? And it kind of opened that gateway to what I want to do. So,
What does being a pro actually mean to you?
you gotta hold yourself accountable, man. I think like you gotta hold yourself accountable and keep your energy the same. I think any day you can wake up and go to your job and be upset, but that's contagious. For me, it's like if you can bring the energy, everything else will follow. Even if you have a bad quarter or a bad first half, just keep it going. It's not gonna last like that forever, right? And for me, if you stick with that, I think for me that's super important. Just the way I play, the way the game flows, like it's really hard to keep me at that pace for 4 quarters. So if the first 2 don't go well, okay, stick with it. And stick with what got you in the first place. At the end of the day, I think that's super important. For me, that's faith, family, so everyone's different, but that helps me keep a little bit.
What's your definition of pressure?
I talked about this yesterday with someone. I think pressure's a privilege, man. I do. I think there's 2 types of pressure. Like you got a single mom who's got 4 kids, right? And she's working 3 jobs to put food on the table. That's pressure.
That's pressure.
And then you got this side as a pro athlete, okay, you shooting 2 free throws with 2 seconds on the clock to win a championship. That's pressure, but like, you're in the privilege to be in that situation in the first place.
True.
So it's all about perspective at the end of the day.
I mean, you put it out in the other perspective too, as a single mom, if you're really technical, because like, at least you're still alive and you're able to work through it.
Exactly.
So I guess it's,
And Dame said it, man. Dame said it, I think this was like 3 years ago. He said something, same sort of analogy when he hit the buzzer beater over PG. He was talking about it. And he was like, man, I do this every day. Like, it's like, it's not like riding a bike. You got all the exterior factors, the fans, the media, the journalists, all that stuff. But you got
the pressure do come on.
It does, for sure. But
But
like I said,
it's
it's there, for sure. But like, we hooping, man. At the end of the day, like, for me, it's like, I think my biggest game, probably in my career, was last year against Penarol, coming back from, I was here for a month and a half, at Penarol.
Why did you come, did you get bought out of Osorno?
Yeah, so I signed to Mexico. So Chile had 2 contracts. One was the first tournament,
It's
which was a month and a
Copa
half,
Chile, right?
Copa Chile. After that, I was free. The way that contract was structured, like, the agent, who's not my agent now, but they structured it that way.
Was Carlos your agent?
I don't remember his name. I really don't.
Okay.
This was the only deal I've done with them. So, but the way it was structured, I was free after that, and they didn't think I was free. And obviously, Nacional inquired with my current agent. They were like, okay, we need a player to replace the guy. He's got to go back to the States to be there with his wife when his kids were born.
Manny?
Yep. And then I came here, and that was really the biggest stage I played on. My 3rd game here was against Penarol, at Penarol, in the Classico. And
Was Brandon here?
B-Rob,
Yeah.
and Hort was here. Horton.
Horton,
Yeah.
Ken, yeah,
And they
Ken.
had Luis Santos.
Santos,
So they
yeah.
had a team. This was
Yeah,
the
Salva and
Classico.
Nacho played for them.
Yup.
That's it.
Yeah, the boys, yeah. So that was really, for me, that was the first thing where I was like, okay, like, this is the biggest environment ever. But those nerves at the beginning were like contagious, you know, because you're warming up and you can't hear anything. There's like 6,000
You
people.
don't got no fans.
Now, no. I'm about to play them on Monday with no fans too, so it's depressing, but it is what it is.
That's like us every game, pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyways, would you say that was your worst financial mistake that you've made, that business deal? Or
As of now, yeah, I'd say yes. But like, for me, I would believe, like, take risks in your 20s because you can get it all back in your 30s, and then your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, that's your time with your family, that's your time to figure things, you know, take a step back. For me, it's like, you're in your 20s, you don't have a lot of responsibility unless you have a bunch of kids and different things. Everyone's situation. My situation, right? Like, no kids, my family's okay, like, so it was, for me, it was take risks, you know. Did well in crypto. You know, my brother and me had some things that did well, so I was like, okay, let me reinvest some money, blah, blah, blah. Long story short.
now you're talking about that.
Yeah, long story short, that happened. I was like, but I learned everything about the law. I learned everything about what happened, attorneys, so like, that'll never happen to me again.
It was like you was forced to learn.
Yeah, like,
Because
you have to,
you're pretty
because
much
it's a
in
bad
it.
situation, but it's about what you take from it. Like, you can just be down in the dumps all day long, oh, my situation sucks, but like, that's a learning moment, you know, you gotta take
Is that how you
something.
started managing like your money and investing and stuff?
I mean, like, my dad's a CFP, so I've always known about, like,
What does that explain that CFP?
certified financial planner. So
Oh, okay.
he handles everything from point A to point Z, you know, in terms of someone's life, retirement, college funds, budgeting, IRAs, everything, life insurance, you name it, he does it.
So your dad giving you advice,
Yeah.
you're speaking for your dad. What is the advice that, like, he is, if he's talking to you, that he told you to do first? Like, what was he drilling into your head? Like, this is what you need to do. Because I'm not going to say to my daughter.
For sure. My dad said, I mean, my brother told me about this. He said, like, what you guys did is not normal, and it's also not consistent. So,
What do you mean by that?
so like, when you talk about crypto, right, you're talking about 500%, 1,000%, 10,000% in a year.
Who got y'all into crypto?
We ourselves, like, it was
You just jumped over
it was
it.
the day and age, like, we were in the rally, that was Kevin Child's company, he owns EA Sports, like, he was a billionaire, they were listed on Coinbase.
Who did you use?
We had some stuff, we traded it, so like, it's it's a creator coin platform. So famous people get a coin,
Oh.
and then people buy it up, and then that's that. And we were fast.
You got on
We were
early.
seamless. Like we were in early. We did very well. And my dad, I'll never forget this. He's like, this isn't consistent, guys. Like this isn't gonna happen for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
Right.
He was 1,000% right, but he sees the long-term game. If he does 10% a year for a client for 30 years, okay, that's $1 million. You know, so it's I'm like that 10%.
I know 10%.
Sorry, it's all about everyone's personal responsibility. He keeps me grounded in that aspect.
I think so that we are in the wait, how old are you?
28.
28. Okay, yeah, we're still in the same that era. I just feel like I'm older than I am. I'm not that much older. But it's like we're more aggressive.
Exactly.
Way more aggressive when it comes to.
Yeah.
I didn't know for me. I think my issue with myself is I'm trying to get ahead too fast of where I want to be because of the time that I didn't do.
Yep.
And all that time that I wouldn't even say wasted.
Yeah.
I want to use that.
You learn
It's
from that. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, god dang, if I did this when I first came out, my first 2 years, and I was just, putting this to the side.
And I used to be way more risky. Like I know that a lot. So like before I would have been like, okay, look, if I do this right and make X amount of mistakes.
So as we were saying, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
As we were saying, what would he tell you to do? If he had to tell you the first 3 things you need to focus on first, what would he tell you?
I mean, with the money that I made in crypto, he would have said diversify right away into different pots. Less risk, moderate risk, super risk, and that's how you structure a portfolio too.
Give me 3 right now. A moderate, something stable, something moderate, and something like
S&P 500, QQQ, crypto.
So all stocks.
So crypto no, because crypto you want to have maybe 5-10%. You don't want any more of your portfolio than that. S&P you could have probably 50, 60. In technology, QQQ you could have probably 30, 40. Q's is mediate, moderate risk. S&P would be low risk, conservative, and then crypto would be high risk, super aggressive. So you don't want all your eggs in one basket, but that's a good way to kind of split things up instead of putting it all in one place. And if that goes south, you lose all your money.
Right.
I'm not saying that's how I would structure my portfolio because I have algos and different things that do that.
You look at the algos.
They're great, man.
I don't get the algos. What are they doing?
So face value, an algorithm is essentially a module that trades for you off of the logic that you feed it.
Right, correct.
So-
I get that.
My long-term portfolio is 8 algos. That's my retirement, and they trade all sorts of stuff.
So it's constantly trading your portfolio.
Yeah, so trades are intraday, and I add money to it every month, just like you would a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, and it basically uses that. But we're hedged also, so if you're in the S&P 500 and the S&P 500 is down, you're down. If the S&P 500 in our portfolio, we don't trade just the S&P 500. We trade what's in the S&P 500. But if that's down, that doesn't mean our percentage for the whole portfolio is down because
Right.
we're hedged with VIX. VIX is another product that you can use to combat with the S&P 500 volatility.
Are they strictly trading stocks or are they trading all?
We're in some crypto ETFs, some very small percentage. We're in gold, some heavy metals, uranium, gold.
More stocks or futures?
I'd say probably no futures,
No
no
futures.
derivatives, all commodities. I would
Okay.
say strictly,
So mainly stocks.
mainly stocks.
And
Super
ETFs.
liquid stocks, right, that you can get in and out of.
Right.
It's not intraday buying and selling. The earliest we'd sell a position would be one day.
Just for the people who's listening, interday is like day trading,
Yeah, so intraday you buy and sell within
the same
a
day.
24-hour period.
Because sometimes you gotta realize a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
They understand what you're saying, but I know interday you talk about day trading. And do they trade over time, like swing trading, or is it? just
Yeah. So we'll order position 3, 4, 5 days, sometimes even a little bit longer. It depends on, kind of what we're in. But at the end of the day, the goal is to have the market up and to the right because we need volatility to make money. But if the market is down, that doesn't mean we're not making money either because we play both sides. There's certain things that kick in, certain logic. If we're oversold on, let's say, 100 RSI on a weekly or monthly chart, we're probably gonna get some sort of correction.
For sure.
So we're gonna play the downside, you know, that's kind of how it works. Very simple basis right there.
So for overseas basketball players, if what is something they should invest in? What is the first thing they should invest in? And this is not just in like stocks or just in general. In
Themselves.
life.
I say themselves. Like,
What does that look like?
yeah, so that trumps everything for me. I've talked to guys that have large real estate portfolios, I've talked to guys, not too many guys are in crypto and different things like that I'm in because it's just the masses. Like there are guys that are in there. But if you invest in yourself, you have a skill set with a little bit of everything. So when you find what you love and you're passionate about, you can pick and choose where you want to put your money. And also it's just money management, like live below your means until you get to a point where, you know, you can go out and network at these high places or you can go eat out every meal if you want to and you know, save your time.
Awesome.
Like for me, it's like, I like my time. So, you know, if I gotta go cook, you know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'll cook breakfast at the crib. But if I gotta cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's 2
I got time.
3 hours I don't get. So I'd rather go spend money, you know, here
I'd
it's
rather do
obviously
that.
expensive, but your time, it's what you do with your time at the end of the day. And for me, time is valuable, so pay for that, doesn't matter how much money you have. So I see yourself, because if you do that, then you can pick and choose what you're really passionate about and then turn that into a business or a venture with a friend or whatever you're trying to do after that.
So we kind of skipped over a part. You said when you started getting into trading. Like, what was your trading journey? Like, how did you start with that? Because you told me a story before, but like.
Yeah, so I was.
Because I'm like right now in the beginning of my.
This is the juicy stuff. Yeah. So I was probably 23, 24, and I had the lawsuit going on. I had to pay my attorney.